Hey everybody, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video we're looking at something a little bit different, a little bit older, something kind of nostalgic. We are going to take a closer look at the Team Rocket deck that's basically featured with couple sets. So basically it is a Team Rocket up to the Legendary Collections, or if you're not familiar with the sets between, it's basically a build with cards from Team Rocket, Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge, Neo Genesis, Discovery, Revelation, Neo Destiny, as well as Legendary Collection that also featured some cards that have been reprinted from base set, Jungle Fossil, base 2, as well as Team Rocket cards. So yeah, let's basically take a look at this Dark Feraligatr deck. So this is a interesting card, as you can see it right here. So Dark Feraligatr is kind of interesting card because it actually have very interesting Poké power, which says that as long as the Dark Feraligatr is your active Pokemon, all of your opponent's baby Pokemon powers stop working and your opponent baby Pokemon can't attack. Basically meaning that as long as we have Dark Feraligatr in the active position, our opponent won't be able to use Cleffa for Ick, and that's really disruptive. And they won't be able to Ick, which basically means that they won't be able to refresh hand. So the strategy of this deck is to set as fast as possible Dark Feraligatr, attach 3 energies to it, and start dealing the damage. So deck is based around of 3 copies of Totodile, with the Leer and Fury swipes. The first attack is very good because it says that for colorless energies you can flip a coin, and if you get Has defending Pokemon can't attack Totodile during your opponent next turn. So deck plays 3 copies of Totodile. It also plays 1 copy of Dark Croconaw that I actually don't have at the moment when I'm recording this video. So I'm just gonna put this empty here. So this should be 1 Dark Croconaw. It's on its way. So probably I'm just going to have it in the next week or so. And it also plays 3 copies of Dark Feraligatr. So Dark Feraligatr, it's going to be main attacking Pokemon in this deck. So Dark Feraligatr times 3. Additionally, what we have in this deck... Oh, I didn't mention the attack. 80 HP on Dark Feraligatr, 3 retreat cost, 3 attack cost, Crushing Blow. If defending Pokemon has any energy card attached to it, you can flip a coin, and if you get a Has, you can choose one of those energies and basically discard it. Plus you're hitting for 50, and you also have that powerful attack as well. So overall, really powerful card. HP can also be increased by 20 more, but a little bit later about that. Additionally, this deck also plays 4 copies of Hoot with very powerful first attack as well, which is a Hypnosis. The defending Pokemon is now asleep, so for 1 colorless energy, you can simply asleep your opponent active Pokemon. And it also plays 4 copies of that Noctowl with Glaring Gaze ability, or actually Poké Power, which says that once during your turn, you might flip a coin. If it's a Heads, look at your opponent hand. If your opponent has any trainer card there, choose one of them. Your opponent shuffles that card into his or her deck, and this power cannot be used if Noctowl is affected by Asleep, Confusion, or Paralyzed. So basically meaning that we can use Noctowl, Glaring Gaze, Poké Power, and pretty much disrupt our opponent hand by simply discarding trainer card we found there. Also, deck plays 4 copies of Cleffa with that Ick. So just in case if you're not familiar with the Cleffa, it is basically, in my opinion, the best way to refresh your hand. It is kind of better shaming. Maybe actually back then it was like a shaming, but you have to attach energy and attack with it. So it says that for 1 color's energy you can shuffle your hand and draw 7 cards, which means that your turn ends after that, and you can draw one card for, let's say upkeep, or the main phase, or the beginning of your turn, depending on the the game you're gaming from. But it also have that baby rule, which says that if baby Pokemon is in the active position and if opponent tries to attack it, basically opponent flips a coin, and if he gets tails, they're not able to basically deal the damage to Cliffa. So that's the reason why Cliffa was so heavily played and considered as most annoying card back then in the format. Additionally, that's pretty much for the Pokemon lineup. 3-1-3 line of the Dark Croconaw, 4-4 lineup of the Noctowl, and 4 copies of Cliffa. So that's for the Pokemon lineup. Speaking about trainer cards, we do have 1 copy of the Boss's Way, which says that you can search the deck for evolution card with Dark in its name, show it to your opponent, put it in your hand. So basically with the Boss's Way, we can simply grab the Dark Feraligatr and put it into our hand. Additionally to Team Rocket cards, we have 1 copy of Nightly Garbage Run, which says that you can choose up to 3 basic Pokemon cards, evolution cards, and or basic energy cards from your discard pile, show them to your opponents, and basically shuffle back into your deck. So this can actually help us to recover Feraligatrs, Noctowls, Cliffas, Hoodhoods, Totodiles, or whatever we need, energies in case as well. So I mentioned that Dark Feraligatr HP can be increased by 20, and that's the correct answer, and that's true. So basically with the Rocket's Hideout Stadium card, each Pokemon in play with Dark in its name, even your opponents, gets plus 20 extra HP. So as long as we have Rocket's Hideout in play, Dark Feraligatr will have 100 HP. So deck plays also 2 copies of Double Gust. That's basically something like, double Pokemon catcher for both players. What Double Gust says and what Double Gust effect is. Basically, it says that if you have any benched Pokemon, your opponent can choose one of them and switch it with your active Pokemon. And then if your opponent has any benched Pokemon, you can choose one of them and switch them with opponent's active Pokemon. So basically it is a double catcher with the rules which says that your opponent chooses first. Deck also plays 2 copies of Good Manners. This card is super good. It is basically like, a Ultra Ball back then. It says that in order to play this card, you can't have any basic Pokemon cards in your hand. Show your hand to your opponent, then search your deck for a basic Pokemon card, show it to your opponent, and put it in your hand. So unfortunately, you're not able to grab yourself a evolution Pokemon. So let's say this is like a quick ball these days. You can just show a hand. If you don't have basic Pokemon, you can search the deck for any basic Pokemon you want and put it in your hand. Additionally to that, we have 3 copies of Pokemon Breeder, or something like these days rare candy cards. It says that you can basically put a stage 2 evolution card from your hand of the magic basic Pokemon, but you can only play this card when you would be allowed to evolve that Pokemon anyway. So if you, for example, put Totodile in play this turn, you cannot use Breeder to evolve into Dark Feraligatr. You need to wait 1 turn in order to be able to use Breeder effect. Breeder was actually reprinted in the Legendary Collection, so just ignore that base 2 stamp on the card. Additionally, we have Rocket Sneak Attack. This card is really broken. It is basically a Noctowl Glaring Gaze ability just without flipping a coin, and it is a trainer card. It says that you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you find any trainer card there, you can choose one of them, and simply your opponent needs to shuffle that trainer card back into the deck. So that is really disruptive card and especially good in this build. Additionally, we have 3 copies of Pokemon Trader. Pokemon Trader is the same thing as the Pokemon Communication these days. Trade one of your basic or evolution Pokemon from your hand for one of the basic or evolution cards from your deck, and that's pretty much it. So Pokemon Trader, also reprinted in the Legendary Collection, very good card back then. We also have 3 copies of Misty's Red. Misty's Red is a card that simply helps you to get some cards in your hand. So I can actually compare Misty's Red to Hapu these days, because Hapu is support a card that says that you can look at the top 6 cards of your deck, put 2 of them in your hand, discard the other cards. Misty's Red is pretty much the same effect, but it says that you can look at the top 7 cards, choose 2 of them, and discard the rest. And this is just the trainer card, so you can play multiple Misty's Red per turn. We also have 3 copies of Goldberry in this deck. Goldberry was actually kind of popular card these days. Goldberry is a tool card that can be attached to one of your Pokemons in play. And what Goldberry says, and what Goldberry effect is, well, at any time between turns, if there are at least 4 damage counters on the Pokemon that the Goldberry is attached to it, you might remove 4 of them, and you might remove 4 damage counters from that Pokemon and simply discard Goldberry. But remember, this needs to be between turns. So when your opponent turn ends, and between those 2 turns, you can use effect of the Goldberry and simply remove 4 damage counters from your Pokemon. But also, Goldberry says that at the start of each turn, if there are at least 4 damage counters and the Pokemon Goldberry is attached to it, remove 4 of them and then simply discard Goldberry. So you can also follow that rule as well. So looks like we have a little bit of glare from the light, which actually affects the field of view right here. So I'm just going to try to somehow fix this out. Alright, so additionally we have 4 copies of Professor Elm. It is pretty much the card that's the only way to, you know, shuffle your hand and draw the fresh hand of 7 new cards. Well, with Professor Elm, they're actually trying to limit that Professor Oak effect, and they simply said that when you use Professor Elm, you need to shuffle your hand in your deck and draw 7 cards, and you cannot play any more trainer cards this turn. So that was probably the beginning of the supporter cards. Additionally, we also have for this deck 2 copies of Darkness Energies, and just in case if you're not familiar with the Darkness Energy effect back then, it says that this is the special Darkness Energy. You know, it's not the basic Darkness Energy. Back then we didn't have basic Darkness, neither Metal Energy. It says that if the Pokemon the Darkness Energy cards is attached to, it will damage defending Pokemon. After applying weakness and resistance, the attack does 10 more damage to the defending Pokemon, and at the end of every turn you need to put 1 damage counter on the Pokemon that the Darkness Energy cards is attached to, unless that Pokemon is a dark Pokemon, for example, Dark Feraligatr. So we can deal 10 extra damage to our opponent Pokemons with Darkness Energy. And also, Darkness Energy provides Darkness Energy. Doesn't count as a basic energy card, so you still need to pay 3 water energy cost in order to have that attack with Dark Feraligatr. And additionally, we also have remaining cards which are water energy. So we have 8, 10, 12, 13, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we also have additionally 13 water energies as well. And that's basically the deck list. So this is the Dark Feraligatr Noctowl deck profile for the Team Rocket Legendary Collection format. So if you're looking for any of these cards, you can also find them on ccgcastle.com. Link is provided in the video description. Hurry up and make sure to get them before they're actually gone, because those cards are actually pretty hot these days, and they are also very hard to find. So definitely make sure to check CCG Castle if you need any of these cards. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. So have a nice day and goodbye.